film is always about the familiar and the dream. That's why most people make their first film as autobiographical, because they want to talk about something close to their heart, which makes sense. So you talk about something you know about, but hopefully that gives people a dream. I mean, that's what cinema is about. It is that something, oh yes, I know this, but I haven't seen it this way. That's what cinematography is about. My feeling about filmmaking as a cinematographer is if you get one image, you're doing better than most. I think about my films as certain images that really represents the film. This is this really strange ending to this film called Days of Being Wild, and supposedly it's to anticipate a sequel, which we never made, by the way. And what we've done is basically there's no light. The only light is coming from a small lamp outside the window, and this lamp that you see there, and another lamp over here. And the art director built the room, as you can see, very low. So there I am. You have to shift the weight, you know. Here we go. Okay. Now I can go back. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's really heavy. Okay. Then I go back again because I'm getting tired on the other leg. Come on, move. Thank you. Back again. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye. And then I stand up and I hit my head every fucking time. Shit. I took 5 takes and I was in hospital for a week. I had such a headache. Yeah. So that's the...
How much authority do you have in films to organize retakes? I mean, I remember you talking in an interview about the Maggie Cheung scene, which you had to do 53 times. And
yeah, that was my fault, not their fault.
And she ended up hating your guts, you said. Does she still hate your guts? Or is she okay with you now?
Can you turn off the camera for a minute, please? In Chinese, they have this expression which is very interesting. Yan gao shou di. Your eyes are high, but your hand is low. In other words, you're trying to do more than you can really do. And that's what I think I was at the beginning of, you know, because that film was like one of my first films. But in my case, it was like overcompensation, where that in order to create a style for this film, which I wanted a certain look, but the look was not natural. We were imposing all this. So I had a green filter and a tobacco filter. I mean, I had this green thing, you know. So what we wanted to do was, I had this really strong perception, oh, the film should look like this, and it should be soft, and it should be... But the problem was that all these ideas were contradictory to the actual working situation. For example, in order to do what we were doing with all this filtration and the kind of film stock I was using, actually it was almost impossible to shoot because there was never enough light. And I think that's what's happened in my so-called evolution as a filmmaker. You know, less is more. You do learn to step back, that you do learn that, yes, if you get, you know, the major elements right, then everything will fall into place. And that's the real, I think in the context of a filmmaking context, that is the real journey, and that's one of the basic responsibilities of a person who's, you know, asking as much money as I do for a film. So I think that's what happened with this famous thing about, it's true, we were trying to do one shot where Maggie was doing all this stuff. It was a whole choreographed thing. It was 5 minutes long, and basically it was physically impossible. And instead of stepping back from it, at that time I insisted on keep on going. But in the end, they just cut it anyway. So we should have done separate shots and saved 3 days. This is the old Manila train station. This is my first Steadicam shot, if you know what a Steadicam is. And I guess here we're talking about the integrity of a space, basically. And this is our old friend Leslie, who jumped out of a window 2 years ago. And I love him very much. And I know where he jumped also, by the way. And he's happier now, I believe. Honestly.
喂，你究竟搭幾點鐘班車㗎？
我冇話你搭車喎。
你唔係嚟搭車，咁嚟火車站做咩啊？
等人。你入去傾啲嘢先。醫生揸住你，下次有機會請翻你。
That's the daughter of President Aquino, by the way. The Days of Being Wild. It's set in mainly, again, usually in 60s Hong Kong. And then they run away, and this particular part, they've run away to Philippines. You have nothing else, get the location right. And, the space in which you work defines how the film will go. It gives the actor some sort of resonance, it gives them some sort of sense of place, it gives them a sense of who they are, and you work from that. And that's about all we start with, really. Or, yes, there's an open road, so that means I must be going somewhere, etc., etc. I mean, you can do very simple analogies from that. Wong Kar-Wai and I never talk about the film because there's never a script, right? But we've grown up in very different cultures, and yet we've obviously, basically we've read all the same books all our lives. Usually they've been Manuel Puig, Cortázar, etc., etc. It's been South American literature, basically. And it's usually has a certain narrative structure. And I think that's kind of what connects us most, more than anything else. And the other thing, of course, is music. The rhythm of how people move. I really believe that all art aspires to music. I really believe that. Unfortunately, all I can do is sort of tap my foot occasionally, But I think all art does aspire to music, and that means that the abstraction of music is communicative. Everyone listens to what's it called, world music now, right? But you don't understand a word they're saying. But how come you sense, there's an energy there, or there's a communicative sort of nature to music that other arts don't have. I think in all the films that we do, I think that musical things like notation, I think concepts like repetition, I think the idea of a chorus, for example, all those musical elements are actually basic to the kind of films that we're making, and especially the kind of people I work with. Obviously the prime example is Wong Kar-Wai. Wong Kar-Wai will say something like, "Chris, listen to this. Doesn't that feel like the boulevard?" Yeah, I guess so. You have to say yes, otherwise, you seem like an idiot, you say, "Oh yeah. Doesn't it feel really green to you?" But it's true. Actually, that may be where we should be going, to this level of sensory perception. And as a cinematographer, I think that, you really, or as a writer, or as an actor, that you really, that's what you work towards, that cathartic moment where idea and image, or idea and intent, or idea and words actually do match. And it's really fucking hard to get there.